Hi everyone, it's Di here from Diane, and this week I'd like to show you how I made this card. It's called a bifold card, and it's a little bit different. So it stands up. When it's standing up it looks like this, and this is my prototype, and I did have to play around with it a little bit to get the measurements quite right, but I was really happy with it in the end. So that's my card, and I used the Way to Goat this paper is retired, but I'm actually going to use something that's brand new. So let's put that on one side and I'll show you what we're going to use. Let's pop that over there. I'm going to use the new Butterfly Brilliance. It's such a beautiful butterfly. It comes with, and I didn't bring the other paper over, but it comes with another set of paper if you buy the bundle, and it has all these dies. Oops. Which I haven't pulled out yet and put into my folder. So you've got all these butterflies that are just like this, and these ones, and where is the other bit? Oh, here it is. It's still stuck to the piece of paper because I've actually cut this out of the paper. As you can see, it is just so gorgeous. It fits on the paper, absolutely beautiful. So you can see how it's cut out. So I've actually cut them, all of those out. They look like that, and I've cut them all out to use on our card. I'm also using this designer paper and this one, as well as the opposite side. You've got quite a lot in this set. You don't get like just 4 sheets, you get, I think it's 8 of each. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yes, 8 of each one design. And that's beautiful. On the other side, I love that side too. That's gorgeous, that is there. And this one is the one that we're using, which has got the butterflies on one side and the multi-grain on the other. So this one is the one with the ombre butterflies, and beautiful. Looks to me like you could use that as in the sky, you know, like for in space. And then those gorgeous butterflies there, and this lovely dotty pattern on the back, and this one here with all these beautiful butterflies but in small, and that, oh, isn't that gorgeous on the back, that pink. And then this gorgeous one here with this beautiful greeny colour on the back. So I love it. I think it's fantastic, and I'm going to make you a card using that one. Excuse me, I've got a croaky throat and I'm going away on holidays in a few days too. So that's that, and as I say, that's why that's on there, because just showing you how that's cut out, ready to use. I'm going to scoop you out a tiny bit. I think you're in just a little bit too far. That's a bit better. Okay, so that's what we're using. We're not using the stamp set at all, but we're using that. And then I'm going to use the Good Morning Magnolia for thanks, and not only for what you do, but for being someone so special, and this flower here on the inside as well. I'm also going to use my layering ovals, and I'm using the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th size up in the plain oval, and the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th size up in the scalloped ovals, and I've done them in Magenta Madness and mint macaron. So you're going to have to see what that's going to look like in a minute. Anyway, so let's pop those on one side. Let me tell you what we need. There's a lot of little pieces, but as I say, there's my butterflies all cut out. So we're going to pop them onto the card, and I don't know how, because I've not made one with the butterflies before. I've just opened the pack. So, and I thought, right, that's it. That's what we're going to do. So I'm going to start with Magenta Madness, and you're going to, for the main card, you're going to need 2 pieces of card. This piece measures 5 7/8 by 8 1/4, and this piece measures 5 7/8 by 4 5/8. You're going to need for your layers, now let's start down here, and I've done a lot of gluing. Oops, just dropped that all on the floor. Oh gosh, the floor's so far away these days. Okay, so we're going to need 2 pieces of for the layering in card, and I'm doing mint macaron for this, that measure 5 5/8 by 1 7/8, and then the designer series paper that will measure 5 3/8 by 1 5/8. Now I stuck part of these on, so I've got to stick the other half on the other ones. You're going to need 2 more pieces of the mint macaron, which measures 3 1/8 by 1 3/4, and you'll need 2 of those, and 2 pieces of designer series paper that measures 2 7/8 by 1 1/2. Then you're going to need 4 pieces of card, and in this case, if you're not using the same design as me, you need to make sure that you have, if you've got designer directional paper, that the design is going this way across the little side, not the length, but the width, the width of it. Okay, so you'll need 4 of these, and they measure 1 3/4 by 1 inch, and the designer series paper measures 1 1/2 inches by 3/4 of an inch. Then for our insert, we're going to need a piece that measures 5 5/8 by 3 7/8, and our white writing layer, which measures 5 3/8 by 3 5/8. Lots and lots of bits. So let's pop all these on one side, and we'll stick those together and put them all in as we go. What we're going to do is we're going to score them and cut these pieces together. So I'll get my scoreboard in. Oh, up the right way. That helps if it's up the correct way. Okay, so we're going to score our piece that is 8 1/4 inches long. We're going to score this at, on the long side, at 2 1/8, 4 1/8, and 6 1/8. And we're going to score our piece that is 5 7/8 by 4 5/8. On the 4 5/8 side, we're going to score this at the 4 1/8 mark. And that's all the scoring we're going to do. What we're going to do now is we're going to bring in our trimmer, and we're going to trim our cut. So what we're going to do next, let me move that out of the way so I know what I'm doing. We're going to place this in our board with our trimming blade at the top, at the 1 3/4 inch mark. Now I find it easier to do it on this side. So there's the 1 1/4 inch side. So I popped it in at the 1 1/4 inch. Now I'm going to have to move my chair back a bit so I can get over the top of this. And before we pop that down, we need to bring this in at the 2 1/8 mark. So the 2 1/8 mark is here. You'll see the blade just getting to it, and we're going to cut down to the 6 1/8 mark. You're better to go a little bit under and then finish it off after than a little bit over. So then we're going to turn it around so our cut edge is on the right hand side now, and we're going to put this back in here at the 1 1/4 inch mark, and pop this back at the 2 1/8 mark. And once again we're going to cut down to the 6 1/8 mark. There we go, that's all our cutting done. So let's move my cutting board out of the way now. And if for some reason you haven't gone to the cutting line, just use the scissors just to trim that right to the line there, like so. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do all our folding. So we're going to fold our piece with the 1/2 inch mark, and we're going to fold that and burnish it. Our other piece here, what we're going to do now is we're going to fold this so that this middle line here folds out in the middle and in on the on either ends, and then this line here is going to fold back, and this one's going to fold back as well. So we don't want to fold too much along that line there, because the less we've got to fold along that line, the better. So we're going to make sure this is all nice and straight and get it all nice and even. And then we're going to fold it down like so. So we've got our piece that goes like this. This line here, if you want, you can always go onto the back and just push down on it like so with your bone folder to iron it out a bit. Okay, so then it won't be as obvious on the card. So that's what we've done there, and then what we're going to do with this piece is we're going to pop some glue onto this half-inch mark along this half-inch edge here, making sure it's right along the edge, and then we're going to glue this to our other piece of card, making sure that the fold line butts up against the edge and the top and bottom are all matched up nicely. Once we've done that, we can then fold that down and push that along there nice and neatly. And along that side there, which won't be seen because it's on the inside of the card. My glue squished out the sides. Just make sure if you've got glue sticking out that you clear that away so it doesn't show. And that's our card ready. That's our basic card. How about that? That wasn't so hard after all, was it? Okay, so now we're going to put our bits and pieces together. So we're going to start by gluing our 5 3/8 piece onto our 5 5/8 layer. And once again, if you have directional paper, make sure that you get your directions up the correct way. At this stage, I guess it doesn't really matter with these because they're all like long, so as long as you've got them, they can go that way or that way. But if your paper's going this way, it's not going to work. So you pop those onto the card now. And our long pieces are going to go one on this side, and we can open it up nice and flat, and the other one will go, whoops, off the edge and around the corner and on the train tracks or wherever. That one's going back onto that side there. And now we're going to do it our two other pieces. So let's pop this bit of glue onto the back of this piece of designer series paper. And it's gorgeous on both sides. And oh, I just don't like using paper when it's so beautiful on both sides. How awful is that? What's the use in buying it if you're not going to use it? And I've got to the point where I've got to use mine because I'm getting so much paper and not using a lot of it because it's just too nice. And they are going to go into those center pieces, making sure once again that if you've got a direction on your pattern, like in this case, I don't want my butterflies upside down, so making sure my butterflies are up the correct way. And we're going to pop our last piece of designer series paper onto our small piece here, and then we're going to just glue all of these into place. Let me put a bit of glue on, a couple of these at a time. Making sure that again, that they're up the correct way. You don't want your butterflies flying upside down. I've never seen a butterfly fly upside down. So okay, let's pop the lid on my glue because it's actually quite warm in this room today. And making sure they're up the correct way. And that's all my panels on there. So we're now going to stamp our other panel, our white panel, and I'm just going to use Memento. Let's move that one out of the way. And I'm stamping the words that I haven't got written on this one, so this is a bit of a silly one. I haven't put all the words on here that say not only for what you do, but for being someone special. And I'm going to stamp my magnolia flower into the left hand corner, because I don't, the right hand corner, sorry. I don't want it in the left hand corner because if I put it here it will show from the front, and unless you want something to show from the front, I wouldn't put it on that side. So I'm going to just pop that there, and then I'm going to use a couple of my blend pens here, and I have my Granny Apple Green just for my leaves. And a bit of trunk, which should probably be brown, and I'm just going to give this a bit of maybe I'll make that one a bit greener. And then for my flower, I have my pink, this is dark flirty flamingo, so I'm just going to put dark flirty flamingo into the middle of my flower like so, and then out with the light flirty flamingo just to ease it out. And that's my flower, that's my magnolia flower. Let's glue that onto the front of onto the piece that goes inside the other layer. I absolutely love this magnolia set. There's no way in the world I will ever get rid of that one. Doesn't matter. I might, even if I sell some of my others at this stage, I have no plans to sell any of my stamp sets, but because I use them all from time to time, not all the time obviously. So, and so that one goes on the inside like so. Alright, so that's our colour. See how you would not want it there or there, so that you wouldn't want it showing through on those parts. So we now have come to our ovals. Now I just had a bit of scrap, so I haven't measured these to tell you what the size is. So you need a piece about 3 3/4 by about 3 3/4 square in the pink, and about 3 by 4.5 in the mint macaron. So I'm just going to stamp my thanks onto the front of this cup. Pink, green one, making sure I've got thanks up the correct way. There we go. And then I will glue the two of those together. And I'll pop my pin back into the end of my glue because I've finished with it now. So, and glue those two together so that beautiful pink just shows right underneath it. Looks so gorgeous, doesn't it? Now I'm just going to glue that, or I'm actually going to put that onto a couple of dimensions. Now I've still got some of these larger ones, so I'm going to pop some of those just down the middle, just 3 of them down the middle here. I'm getting down to the ends of them, all the bits and pieces now, so which is good. And we'll glue that to or attach that to the front of the card like so. And we'll work out where we're going to put our butterflies. Now I want to put this big one on the front here, so I'm going to give him a bit of wing lift. And I've got my other dimensions here, so let's pop a couple of those onto the back of this one and pop him onto the front of the card on that oval, which I think, oh, yes, just perfect. And then we will see where we're going to put these. So I think we might put, I don't know that we'll put them all on. Oh yes, I think he will look really nice just there. And I'm going to use one of those larger ones again because it's the right height, so we know that it's going to sit there. Oh yes, that's perfect. And then we can pop a couple of these ones on the inside here, one here, and then we could put that there. Let's see if how it goes for showing, shall we? No, we won't have him there, so if we put him on the inside, he will have to be up here. So let's pop a little bit of glue on that one. And pop him up the top here. We pop one of these here, what he's going to show through. I think we need to pop him on this angle so he's not over that, so he can sit flat on the back there. By doing that, we're going to help hold this down nice and tight too along that crease line. So it's not going to pop up. So we have 2 more butterflies just there, and then I think we might overdo it if we put any more on there, so that one we'll hang on to for another day. I'm going to put you on hold for 2 seconds and I will be back to finish it off. Back again. I've got these iridescent pearls here. These were from the Christmas catalogue and I didn't get around to using them, so let's put some of these onto the front of our card, shall we? And I think they will just look absolutely gorgeous. Oh yes, that just sets it off really just perfect, doesn't it? Rather than being so plain. Well, I hope you've enjoyed today's card. I'm not sure that my video will get on up as quick as normal because of the fact that I will be going away, and so this will be going live while I'm away. So I hope that you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss any of my future videos, and I will see you again next week. Bye for now.